Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Sophia Lucia Parola with Garden State Film Festival. It is the 22nd year. We have 200 films coming from 14 countries, all different various types of films this year, from March 21st to March 24th. You can check out these films in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and Cranford, New Jersey. And one of the films you can check out is this really cool and fun animated short film called Hot Singles. Here to talk with me about the film is the writer, director, and animator, Jake Kurz. Jake, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, of course.
Congratulations on making this awesome film and getting accepted into Garden State Film Festival for obvious reasons, but congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Of
you.
course. So before we get started, can you tell everybody watching a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Jake. I'm a 21-year-old animation student at University of the Arts, Philadelphia. Um, this film that I submitted was my junior piece. We do like a piece every year. So yeah, I mean, I love
Wow.
making cartoons.
Love that. Wow. Okay, lots of questions, but I'll wait. Tell everybody watching a little bit about Hot Singles.
Well, Hot Singles is a little short about a guy who accidentally clicks on like a pop up like a Hot Singles in your area ad while he's looking to find some like illegal movies or fun free games, and it ends with him. It ends up with him being stalked by this crazy woman who is not really a woman; she's actually a monster. So he's kind of the prey to this weird, gross, goofy looking lady that's trying to, get him.
Yeah, Jake. I mean, I was telling you before we started this live, but like, I love this film so much. I can't wait to see it more and more. I've got to show other people. Can't be people at Garden State Film Festival to see this. Like, it's just so good. What was the inspiration for coming up with this story?
Um, Probably unsupervised internet access when I was
Yeah.
younger. Just being a kid and getting borrowing my dad's laptop and being like, oh, Halo 3 free. Uh,
Right.
Finding that kind of stuff. We're like, um, Adventure Time, all episodes free, and
Yeah.
you end up getting like these ads, these pop ups in the corner of your screen that are like, Linda 42, her husband is dead, and she only wants love. Click here. And there's tons of those, and I thought how funny that would be if somebody actually followed up on one of those because nobody ever does.
Mm,
Um, and but it's not a real lady; it's actually a monster.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's where that came from, and I just kind of ran with it from there, seeing whatever weird stuff I could cram in there.
Oh,
I took the opportunity to make the lady very inhuman and goofy, and I'm obsessed with lumps. She's very lumpy. She's covered in like boils and stuff.
oh,
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what inspired it.
oh man, I mean that's so relatable. I also remember looking up like 1, 2, 3 movies, downloading all this free music, just seeing the craziest stuff pop up. So definitely relatable. And you mentioned that this is your junior piece and you're in school. Didn't even realize, I didn't know that when I was watching this film. So talented and such a
Thank
young
you.
artist. That's insane. So this is not your first animated short?
No, this is my second, technically.
Wow. And is this different from your first? Like, is this different than anything you've made before?
Yeah, the first one I made was when I was a sophomore, and it was kind of more of like a love letter to like the things I grew up with. Like I'm a huge Adventure Time fan, so I made like this kind of like fun little fantasy like romp through a dungeon. Um, it was just something that like I had to like make just because when I was a little kid, I was like, oh, I want to make cartoons, and that was very much like the thing I wanted to make when I didn't have the ability, you
Uh-huh.
know. So this one I think is more of just like my style, like as an adult. You know,
Ah.
it's very much like something that adult Jake would make. So that's why I think I'm just more proud of this one.
Yeah. And can you talk a little bit about your animation style? Is this style that we see in this Hot Singles film something that you always run with, or is this completely new? How'd you come up with this?
This is definitely a me thing. If you asked any of my classmates, they'd be like, oh, that's Jake's. I draw lots of characters that look like the titular like monster in
Uh-huh.
the film. Usually I just like it starts with me trying to make like the funniest face in like a sketchbook that makes me
Uh-huh.
laugh. And then it just goes from there. That's really what this all started with. I drew the funny lady, and I was like, oh, that's funny. But no, this is very much like how a lot of my projects look going forward. I definitely came into my own style in my junior year, and yeah, I just it's sticking. So
Yeah, I mean, I love the style. I could definitely see it. I could just see it on TV. Like it's just, it's so good. I know I can just keep throwing compliments at you, but I love it. And in it, I also saw that there was some background and additional art by some other people. Can you tell me how you collaborate with that?
yeah, mostly every time I make something, I work with a good friend of mine named May Kim. She's a fantastic, also a fantastic animator, but a great composer, and she did like all the music for this.
Mm.
We're collaborating on my thesis right now, but no, she's great. I always work with her with that, and I had a good friend of mine, Jada, do. She was a background artist. Basically, I'd send her sketches of background. I'd be like, color this for me, you know,
Uh,
and she'd throw it right back. So that was good. The only reason I was able to produce this was from some very generous volunteers in my class. So big shout out to them. They're great.
mhm.
And other background art, I think, yeah, I think it was really only and another artist on Instagram named Creepy. It's a Creepie, I think. She was a big help too. I had two background artists, and yeah, there's speaking of backgrounds, there's lots of little Easter eggs. Not really Easter eggs, but every time I ask somebody to do a background, I'm just like, put a few extra picture frames, some empty picture frames, so I can like draw a funny thing in the background. And there's a couple of like picture frames, like
Uh-huh.
in the opening scene, he's got like this a bunch of posters on his wall, and I just put whatever I could in there.
Oh, now I gotta watch it again and look for that. And are these things like kind of, I hear Disney does that where they like give you a little promo about like the next film. Are these anything specific like okay, next, or they're just things you love and funny?
You'd think that, and that would be smart, but I don't do that. I just do whatever makes me like chuckle in the
Uh-huh.
moment. You know. Uh,
Still awesome.
Thank you.
So cool. And how, so this short is about a 5 minute animation short, but how long does it take to animate?
Well, I mean, I can give you a breakdown of how we do it at my
I'd love
school.
to
We
hear that.
usually first semester it's pre-production. You're like storyboarding. You're coming up with all the ideas. You're making all the backgrounds. You're designing the characters. And then second semester is getting into all the animation. And hot take, you won't hear this a lot. Animation takes a long time. Uh, I know it's a very bold thing for me to say that animation takes forever.
I thought it
Um,
was like snap your fingers and it's done.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's meticulous. I like to do it hand drawn. I'm not on like a pegboard like flipping paper, but I'm on like a tablet just drawing it
Mhm.
myself. Um, yeah, it takes a while. I'd say all the animation got done in 4 months.
Mm.
But realistically it should have been 6. I would have loved 6, but for 4 months I think I did pretty good.
Oh,
Uh,
so good.
yeah, so that kind of the level of animation I was going for took about 4.5 months, plus maybe 1 to 3 hours before I was supposed to turn it in.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah, I was cutting it close, but turned
Yeah,
out all
that's
right.
what you do in college. You wait till, yeah, to that get every single second. What would you say is the hardest part about making an animated film? Is it the animation or like, yeah, what would you say?
The hardest part is just the animation is hard,
Mm.
just because of the time aspect, because it just takes forever, you know.
Yeah.
But I'd say the hardest part is for me personally is making sure I'm concise enough, because my storyboards and like animatics before you go into actual animation
Mhm.
have historically just been way too long. I presented to the class and my professor's like, You're going to burn your hands down to the wrists with
Ah.
this long thing." So at least for me, I go pretty ambitious. So the hardest part I think is just like reining myself in,
Mhm.
because I've always been like a big aspirations guy. I was like, oh, I want to make a cartoon. I want to make a TV level animated short in 4 months.
Uh-huh.
Like for example, this film originally there wasn't just one lady stalking them. There was like a whole mob of them, and there was
Ah.
probably like 16 extra scenes of them like stalking him in public. And then it ended with like a big, like they all like formed into a big like meatball of people, and then they just
Wow.
broke his house. I would have loved to do that,
Mhm.
but if I had 8 months and
Yeah, maybe another year or something like that.
a
I don't know.
year and a 16-person team, then maybe.
Wow.
But
So it'll happen. Maybe not
yeah,
now, but that hopefully will happen because I want to see that.
thank
That
you.
is so cool. So what's really cool about this animated short is it's not silent, but there's no dialogue, right? We hear sound effects and the music. How do you like? What's the script look like for that? Is it kind of like written out like a story? How do you write that?
So for something that isn't done with a lot of dialogue, uh, you kind of don't really need to write a script. At least on this level of a student film, I found
Mm,
you really just have to have tight storyboards and just notes for yourself and whoever is helping you work on it. You
mhm,
know, your storyboards have to be very descriptive. Motion has to be very like planned out. Um, just so it's like not just intelligible to you, but to somebody else you show it to, or somebody that you want to take a look at it. So it's mostly like, say it'll be like one sequence of like there's a part in my film where he answers his door because somebody knocks on it, right?
mhm.
I'd have the 5 or 6 like key drawings of him answering the door, flinging the door open. But then I'd have in like a little box under it, like, oh, he's huffing. You can hear footsteps.
Ah.
He's he's angrily swinging open the door. So that's kind of the script for like a non-speaking animated short. Um, Scripts for animation are important, but they're much more useful for stuff with dialogue, I think.
Mm. So interesting. And when it came just in your career, I know you're still a young artist, obviously still in school and learning, but what have you learned so far making animated shorts that maybe someone else watching can take advice or you will take with you to your next project?
Temper your expectations of what you can put out. That's the biggest thing. You're gonna want to be ambitious. It's going to feel you want to feel like you're proving something to yourself by just doing a lot of work at once or
Mhm.
overworking yourself. You're really going to want to just temper your expectations of yourself and make sure that while you could have beautiful animation and great backgrounds and amazing character designs, you gotta also make sure that you're telling a fun and interesting story. Um, so the story always comes first. Uh,
Mm.
so you really have to make sure that you're not going too ambitious, so you can actually make something with this awesome animation and these great character designs and great backgrounds. So it's all about you know your expectations of what you can put out.
Absolutely. And lastly, Jake, I mean, how'd you hear about Garden State Film Festival and how does it feel having Hot Singles screen here?
Well, it feels great. I'm very lucky to be selected. It's awesome. I heard about it through school. They were giving out submission codes through my school, and I was like, I guess I'll do that. Didn't really, honestly, just kind of didn't expect it, But it was a great surprise getting the email. I was like, holy shit! Uh, but I'm very honored.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like I said so many times, I really love this film. It really is fun, interesting, and such a unique story. And I can't wait for audiences at Garden State Film Festival to check it out. Let me tell everyone watching how they can see Hot Singles. It will be screening Saturday, March 23rd in the film block 2:30 to 4:45 p.m. at Asbury Lanes. So definitely check that out. Will you be there, Jake?
I'm gonna try to. I do
All
live
right.
in New Jersey, so I just need a car. I'll
Okay.
figure it out.
And there's some trains to Asbury too. You'll figure it out. I hope you're there because I think it'd be so awesome to meet you and for other animators or just film lovers to meet you too. And it's a great place to network and it'd be really
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you again for taking the time out to talk to us. Congratulations. I personally cannot wait to see more of your work. Anything you want to throw out there? How can we see more of your work?
Well, I have an Instagram. It's at meat curse, like the word meat, and then Kurse.
Okay.
Like a genius play on words on my last name. Some guy came up with that. But yeah, I post a lot of stuff there. Just some short animations, and I guess in the future, come in May 2024. Well, my thesis film will be out. It's called Ulcer Boy. It's about a guy who takes too much stomach ulcer medication and he throws up a sentient ulcer that kind of takes over his life. So
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm hoping you submit that to Garden State Film Festival 2025,
maybe I will.
2030.
Maybe I will.
Okay, I can't wait to see that. Congratulations again. Thank you. And for everyone watching, get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets, and we'll see you at Garden State Film Festival.
Thank you.
Bye.